Tural Ganjali from Baku. He is a member of the Azerbaijani parliament. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. So it was supposed to end, their mission was supposed to end in 2025, but it ended, I believe, 1 year earlier. Why?
Yes. Yes, you know that after the 44 days of war was over between Armenia and Azerbaijan 3 years ago, the Russian peacekeeping forces deployed to Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, and they had to stay there up until 2025. But according to the agreement reached between Azerbaijan and Russia, and according to after the liberation of our territories from the occupation, and after the mission was successfully completed, we have liberated territories, we have ended the illegal junta regime that has been existing in Azerbaijani territories for more than 30 years. The need for Russian troops in Azerbaijan territory was over. That's why Russia and Azerbaijan agreed that recently the Russian peacekeeping forces are going to withdraw from Azerbaijani territories. This is on the one hand. And also yesterday, very important news reached us that according to the agreement between the President of Russia, Putin, and Prime Minister of Armenia, Pashinyan, Russian forces which were deployed in the territory of Armenia also are going to withdraw from some parts of Armenia, mainly from the regions of Zengezur and Tovuz-Gala. But still Russian troops will be left in Armenia, protecting the border between Armenia and Turkey and Armenia and Iran. Of course, we would support the Armenia with having Armenia without presence of foreign troops. But in this case, I think that in an ideal world, in a perfect scenario, it will be better for Armenia not to have foreign troops. But what we have to say here, because unfortunately of the aggression policy of Armenia starting from the early 1990s, because of the open territorial claims by Armenia against its neighbors, Armenia had to invite Russian troops. And up to this day, Russian troops still protecting the border of Armenia with Turkey and Iran because of the threat, because of the retaliation steps, possible retaliation steps from its neighbors. That's why we would support and we would encourage Armenia to not to have these foreign troops in its soil. But what we have to do, it's a consequence of the destructive policy, aggressive policy of Armenia perpetrated for more than 30 years against its neighbors. This is the picture now. And also Russian, the Secretary of President of Russia, Peskov, also confirmed that Russian troops are going to withdraw from some parts of Armenia. But most important thing is that they will be still protecting the border between Iran and Turkey.
Now, Tural, this is what I wonder. What does it mean for normalization talks between Azerbaijan and Armenia? Correct me if I'm wrong, now that Russian peacekeepers will not be present in Armenia. This certainly means that there is more opportunity when it comes to improving the relationship. Is that true?
Yeah, it is possible. But the thing is that because we are entering into the process of normalization between Armenia and Azerbaijan, you know that some parts of the Armenian-Azerbaijani border have been successfully the process of delimitation has been successfully ended. The border marks have already been implanted in that part of the border. But the thing is that unfortunately today we are seeing that the revanchist forces led by Armenian church, led by Armenian priesthood, are very active. They are coming against the Armenian government. Here, I would like to say that probably the Pashinyan government trying to introduce the removal of Russian troops from some parts of Armenia as a success story to its internal audience, because Pashinyan government says that we are in the process of the normalizing relations with Azerbaijan. But on the other hand, the revanchist forces, mainly Armenian church, Armenian diaspora, affecting the process very negatively. And here, Armenian Prime Minister also introduces the removal of Russian forces from the territory, some parts of Armenia, as an element of success of its government. Here, of course, I have to say that we have to support Armenia in its endeavors. If Armenia sincerely tries to normalize its relations with Azerbaijan, And if the removal of Russian troops will help the process, of course, we have to encourage the Armenian government. But in a perfect scenario, we would like to see no troops of foreign countries in Armenia, especially when it comes to the border region between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I think that Armenian troops on the Armenian side must protect their borders, as Azerbaijani troops are doing this the same in the Azerbaijani borders. So we have to connect the dots, the internal process that is going in Armenia and the geopolitical kind of developments that are taking place in Armenia and beyond the region.
Tural Ganjali, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.